Hi, I'm April with Ultradent, and I will be giving you a demonstration of an award-winning matrix system by Triodent called the V3 matrix system. Everything that you will need is included in the starter pack. We have a pin tweezer, which up here says press to open, and down at the bottom says press to grip. There's a gold side which would identify where the pin is located, and you can see that there's a little gold pin that sticks out. So in all of our consumables, you'll find a little hole, and that's going to fit in our pin tweezer. So in our matrix band, I'm going to start with our super curved matrix band in just our standard molar size. We've got a tab on the top for placement and holes on the sides for removal. So I'll just place that in the pin tweezer. And you can see in our bands there's a contoured marginal ridge and a nice S-shaped contour to the band. So it's going to be one of the most anatomically contoured bands on the market. Before I place this, I'm going to bend it at a right angle and then place this into the prep. Then I'm just going to bend that tab toward the adjacent tooth, and it's going to become a little handle while I place my wedge. Alright, so next I'm going to place the wedge. We also have a hole in the edge of the wedge here for the pin tweezer. So I'm going to place this right in here. And you'll notice the wedge actually, it's a wave wedge, so you've got that nice contoured shape. The first 1/3 is flexible and the underside's cut out for the papilla. The nice thing about this wedge is that if you like to do a double wedge or if you need to double wedge, you can actually slide a smaller wedge right underneath here from the opposite side. So when I place the wedge, I'm going to put a finger on that tab because that's my little handle. I'm going to rotate this wedge on the back of my hand, and then just go ahead and place your wedge just until you feel that resistance. You don't want to push that in all the way nice and hard like a wooden wedge. You're just going to place it till you feel resistance, and that's going to further contour that band. So with the wedge you have minimal separation, but you have really great sealing contour against the band. All of the separation in this system is going to come from our V3 ring. The back portion of the ring is all nickel titanium, and that's going to ensure consistently tight contacts because it is a memory metal, so it's going to be trying to go back to its original tension. The forward portion is a glass fiber reinforced plastic, which is very durable. It was tested 800 times in an autoclave with no change. Due to the stability of the ring, Triodent offers a 2-year manufacturer warranty. The V shape in the tines is actually going to sit right on top of a triangular shaped wedge. So because of that, it's nice and stable and it sits really well on top of that wedge. So when I place this, I'm going to use the Triodent forceps. Fits right inside of these notches, and it actually locks the ring into the forceps so it won't slip off. When I place this, I'm going to put it right up against the band and rock it on top of the wedge. And I always put a finger here before I remove it just to make sure I have it seated properly. Then I'll do a light burnish on this. We do recommend only a light burnish. And when that ring is in place, you're actually getting 60 to 80 microns of separation with only a 35 micron band. The yellow ring in the system is called our narrow ring. And this ring is going to give you about 70 to 90 microns of separation. It can be used on pediatric teeth, the bicuspid, and it's one of the only rings on the market that works on the distal of the canine. So you'll see it works just the same way as a green ring, but you've got that nice, sturdy placement on the distal of that canine. If you would like to do an MOD on that bicuspid, you can actually turn the ring around and do what we would call butterflying and place that on in that direction. Alternatively, if you're doing quadrant dentistry or an MOD on one of your molars, you'll place the forward ring first, and then you can actually stack these rings on top of each other, which is nice. You don't have to have a short and a long ring. They're the same height, but because of the angle that we have in these rings, they're able to be stacked. Included in your starter pack are both the V3 standard matrix as well as the super curve non-stick matrix. The bands come in 3 sizes, so you have short, standard, and subgingival, and that's going to be just based on tooth height. You'll also receive our wave wedges in 3 sizes, small, medium, and large, and that will be based on the interproximal space. Also included in the kit is a sampling of our wedge guard. This is going to protect the adjacent tooth when you're doing a cavity prep. So you'll place the wedge guard in before you do the preparation, and then as soon as you're done, you'll actually place the pin tweezer in this little hole and remove the guard. And then the wedge will stay in place for the restoration. Although the system was created for use with composite fillings, you can also use these with amalgams and still receive those consistently tight contacts. If you have any further questions, please contact your Ultradent rep.